সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি দি কনভারসেশনে। আজকে আমরা একটি ভিন্নধর্মী প্রোগ্রাম করতে যাচ্ছি। আপনারা জানেন যে লন্ডন বরো অফ টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটসের মেয়র লুৎফুর রহমান যখন তৃতীয়বারের মতো নির্বাচিত হয়, আমরা এই স্টুডিওতে ওনার কাছে জানতে চেয়েছিলাম যে এই লন্ডন বরো অফ টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটস বা তার টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটস নিয়ে তার পরিকল্পনা কী এবং যারা তাকে ইলেক্টেড করেছে কি প্রত্যাশা করতে পারে। ওনার এই তৃতীয় মেয়াদের প্রায় 4 বছর পূর্ণ হওয়ার পথে, আর তাই আজকে আমরা তাকে ইনভাইট করেছি আলাপ করার জন্য, বোঝার জন্য যে ওনার যে প্রতিশ্রুতি যা ছিল তার এগেনস্টে আমরা কতটুকু পেয়েছি, যদি না পেয়ে থাকি কেন সেগুলো পাইনি। তো আজকে আমরা মুখোমুখি হব মেয়র লুৎফুর রহমান। আপনারা জানেন যে ব্রিটেনে প্রথম সরাসরি ভোটে নির্বাচিত এক্সিকিউটিভ মেয়র, নন হোয়াইট মুসলমান বাঙালি প্রথম এক্সিকিউটিভ মেয়র, এবং বিভিন্ন পরিক্রমা পেরিয়ে তিনি 3বার পরপর নির্বাচিত হয়েছেন এবং হয়তো উনি আগামীতেও আবার নির্বাচন করবেন। ফলাফল তো সময় বলে দিতে। আসলে আজকে আমরা মেয়র লুৎফুর রহমানের সঙ্গে আলোচনা করি তার রেকর্ড, তার পরিকল্পনা এবং কতটুকু সে বাস্তবায়ন করতে পেরেছে এবং আগামী দিনে কী পরিকল্পনা আছে সেইগুলো নিয়ে আমরা ওনার কাছেই জানি। মেয়র লুৎফুর রহমান, আমাদের প্রোগ্রামে আপনাকে স্বাগত।
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh to you and to your viewers. Thank you for inviting me again to talk to you and to your wonderful channel. Thank you.
আপনি নিশ্চয়ই এবার আছেন যে মানে প্রথম বাঙালি এক্সিকিউটিভ মেয়র, প্রথম নন হোয়াইট মেয়র, এবং আপনার নির্বাচিত হওয়ার পিছনে বা যে জার্নিটা, ইট ওয়াজন্ট স্ট্রেট লাইন, স্ট্রেট ফরওয়ার্ড। তো সেই দিক থেকে স্বাভাবিকভাবেই কমিউনিটির প্রত্যাশা আপনার প্রতি অনেক বেশি, এবং কমিউনিটি বলতে আমি শুধু বাংলাদেশি কমিউনিটি বলছি, যে সবার, বিশেষ করে এথনিক মাইনরিটি কমিউনিটির প্রত্যাশা আপনার কাছে অনেক বেশি। তো এতদিনে প্রায় 3 মেয়াদ আপনি মেয়র ছিলেন। হাউ ডাজ ইট ফিল টু বি, হাউ ডু আই পুট ইট, a role model but not in the conventional sense of coming from mainstream political party?
Sure. We are extremely grateful to each and every one of our residents, 340,000 people, and people across the country, across the world, who supported me, supported my team, and had confidence in us. তারা যে আমরা উপরে একটা বিশ্বাস এবং confidence to serve and deliver for our residents. আমার sole passion, my utmost desire and my passion and my commitment is to deliver for the people of the borough and to bring about serious, sustainable change and to benefit our residents. Alhamdulillah, it's a blessing. Amar jonno, amar teamer jonno, it's been a blessing that we have been given the opportunity. We were given the opportunity on the 5th of May 2022 to serve them. We have been serving them with sincerity, with loyalty, with dedication. Alhamdulillah.
So আপনার তৃতীয় মেয়াদে আপনি যখন মেয়র হন, এটা মানে কোভিডের প্রায় শেষের দিকে আপনি মেয়র হইলেন। কোভিড তো হিউজ একটা চ্যালেঞ্জ ছিল সারা দেশের জন্য, বিশেষ করে টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটসের জন্য, বিকজ অফ মাল্টি জেনারেশনাল হোম, ওভারক্রাউডিং, বিভিন্ন কারণে, যেখানে এক্সিস্টিং ইস্যুগুলো আরও প্রকট হয়ে ওঠে। বিশেষ করে চাইল্ড পভার্টি ওয়াজ হিউজ। তো আপনার এই বর্তমান মেয়াদে আমাদেরকে কি বলবেন যে এই পভার্টি আপনি কতটুকু অ্যাড্রেস করতে পেরেছেন?
Sure. It has been challenging, অবশ্য। আমি এটা তো আমরা I see in 22 May, just at the end of COVID was devastating for our borough, our residents, and for others across the world and across the country. The commitment we made to our residents, it's in you've seen my manifesto. It's on my manifesto. I made about 150-60 commitments. And a major part of the commitment is to reduce inequality, reduce health inequality, financial inequality, inequality in housing, generally in child poverty. Specifically, we have invested around 25-26 million pound additional money each year to support our young people in the borough. I'll give you an example. When we came in power, our youth services was only worth £2 million. And in my manifesto, one of the commitment was that we will restore our youth services, deliver 20 youth centers across the borough, and deliver additional 75 youth workers. We have already done that. £13.7 million additional money in the youth services we've delivered. Last week was our 20th of youth center. So 20 wards, 20 youth centers across the borough. We'll be delivering 21 youth centers, number one to go in number of the wards. But why I say 20, we delivered, which we didn't promise, but I've done it. We've done it. A dedicated youth center of excellence for young girls and women in St. Paul's Way, in Myland. That's our commitment. University of Bursary, my brother, the only borough in the country we deliver education maintenance allowance, £600 per child if their parents' income is below a certain threshold, 50,350. University of Bursary of £1,500 if their threshold is below that. Some, I would say, around 5,000 students have already benefited from that. We're the only borough in the country deliver universal school dinners, free school meals, both in our primary school and secondary school. Then we've delivered from last September, school uniform grant. If your child starts reception, they'll get £50 from us, তারা আমরা 51 পাইবা। তারা যদি বাচ্চা start করে secondary school, again, that's not universal. Your income has to be low income. Your child gets £150 from us. So we have a number of initiatives that we have introduced to put money into the pockets of our parents. If a family has 3 children, they go to school, the free school dinners, they'll benefit some £1,650 a year. That's one example. So we haven't got rid of child poverty. I can never do that because it's a partnership between us and central government. But we can do our best. We can work with the communities to support them, help them, and help their children with child poverty.
একটা চ্যালেঞ্জ আপনি নিশ্চয়ই অবগত আছেন, যদি এখন বর্তমান সরকার এটা তারা রিভার্স করেছে, the 2 child limit, child benefit. Study after study says that child poverty accelerate হওয়ার পিছনে this played a huge role. আপনার বড়ায় আপনারা এমন কিছু করেছেন কি যাতে করে যে ফ্যামিলি এফেক্টেড এই পলিসি দ্বারা তাদেরকে সাপোর্ট করার জন্য আপনার কোনো বিশেষ উদ্যোগ ছিল কিনা?
We have started the work before central government. First of all, central government did a fantastic thing. The most moral thing that they've done is to get rid of the 2 child benefit cap. That's the best thing they did. And that will support many of our families who have more than 2 children in our borough. However, we have gone above and beyond what the central government has done. We started our work from May 2022. We have put in additional money into the pockets of our families and put in infrastructures in place to help our families and help our kids. We have, with reducing the cost of living, আমরা একটা big commitment my manifesto আছে to help families with the cost of living situation. আমরা over the last 3.5 years, we have distributed some £10 million money, and we have put it into the pockets of families, supported them with vouchers, with other support, whether you're elderly, whether you have a SEND child or you're unwell. We have given them support like vouchers, with food vouchers, other vouchers, and supported them. One example is pensioners 7,000 pensioners. We supported them. That are low income with £150 vouchers. 7,000 pensioners. That's our commitment to our borough.
আমরা যদি আমরা প্রায় ফোকাস করি বাংলাদেশি বা এথনিক মাইনরিটি কমিউনিটিতে, বাট reality is child poverty, pensioner poverty is endemic in every community.
It's across the board.
Across the board. In minority communities, probably a bit deeper, কিন্তু সব community. তো আপনি কি মানে জাস্ট অনেকেই যেটা একিউজ করে বিভিন্ন সময় যে লুৎফুর রহমান শুধু বাংলাদেশিদেরকে দেখে বা তার যারা ভোটার আছে তাদেরকে দেখে, তো এই বেনিফিট যে উদ্যোগগুলো আপনি নিলেন, আপনার এগুলোর কোনো ইম্প্যাক্ট স্টাডি আছে যে এটা কোন কমিউনিটিদেরকে এফেক্ট মানে হেল্প করতেছে?
Absolutely. There are number যেটা আপনি কইছেন, I mean, I'm here to support humanity. I'm here to support the 340,000 people of our borough.
Every resident of Talha
Of our borough, every resident of our borough. A good example is council tax. We said although we said we will help the poorest in our borough, we'll freeze council tax for the poorest. In my first year, I froze council tax for everyone because we came in when cost of living crisis was at its maximum.
The inflation was nearly touching 10.
Inflation 11-12%, because of the Ukraine war, etc. So we said we're going to freeze it for everyone. Second year, in 24 budget, we went back again. We said, no, we'll freeze it for those on low income. That was my commitment. Those who are earning less than 50,350. And the benefit, it doesn't discriminate against people. Someone is... so everyone, when you freeze it for everyone, whether you're black or white, Bangladeshi or non-Bangladeshi, Muslim or non-Muslim, everyone gets the benefit. Similarly, when you freeze it for people who are on low income, anyone could be on low income, my brother. So everyone gets the benefit. For example, another example is in 2024, when the government stopped the allowance for elders, the heating allowance, etc., we said, the winter fuel allowance, we said as an administration, as a council, we will support our pensioners. £175 was distributed by way of vouchers to around 7,000 pensioners, the winter fuel allowance. The government reinstated that this winter. Those 7,000 pensioners could be anyone. As a council, as a government, central government, local government cannot discriminate between communities. You have to support everyone. But at the end of the day, you support, if it's not universal, you support where need is. If it's universal like free school meals, everyone gets the support. Another example, the free home care. We're the second borough in the country to deliver free home care. That doesn't discriminate between people. Whoever receives home care, and if they have to pay, the charge is free. £4 million money per year that we absorb it ourselves. আমরা একমাত্র বারা, সেকেন্ড বারা in the country যারা আমরা ফ্রি হোম কেয়ার প্রোভাইড করি, আমরা চার্জ করি না যারা রিসিভ করেন হোম কেয়ার। সো দ্য সার্ভিস ইজ ফর এভরিওয়ান। এখানে কোনো রকমের আপনি লিগালি ফার্তা নাই ডিসক্রিমিনেট করতা, মরিলে তো পারা সম্ভব না এটা।
So one of the issue আমরা যেটা দেখছি যে মানে in a way linked to poverty অনেকটা যে youth crime, antisocial behavior, আমরা youth ওয়ার্কের ব্যাপারে আপনি কিছুটা বলছেন youth সেন্টারগুলোর ব্যাপারে, but London generally, although latest statistics shows that most crimes are coming down, it's almost at its lowest, homicide is at its lowest, কিন্তু reality হলো এখন পর্যন্ত drug abuse and gang violence and antisocial behavior still quite high. Hamlets is one of those inner boroughs যেখানে it's still quite high. তো আপনারা মানে other opening youth centers, what specific measures you have taken যেগুলো সরাসরি এই youth gang culture-কে চ্যালেঞ্জ করার জন্য বা রিডিউস করার জন্য কাজ করছে?
Thank you. আমরা as a borough, আমরা very fortunate. We have a very young population. Average age of Hamlets is 30. So imagine of the 240,000 people, that's a huge young population.
More than half at below 30.
Below 30. Alhamdulillah, blessing. We are very blessed that Amra youngsters, they're very good. We have a very much emerging educated class. Amra healthy competition in our households, between households, to educate their children. Every other household in the borough, you'll see their child is undergraduate or postgraduate. Or tara degree horsoin, in addition tara master's horra. So we have an educated community that's emerging. Amra school gula, very good school, I will say. And then gang culture jeta. Every inner city borough in the country has some issues. But I wouldn't say we have a gang culture in Talha Hamlets. Yes, youngsters, I grew up in Talha Hamlets. Of course, at a young age, I may have done something that I will think twice whether I should do it or not. You're young, hot-blooded, you think, you do something before you think. Yeah? But then you realize you should have acted differently. But despite all that, I wouldn't say there's a gang culture. I would say, like any other inner city borough, youngsters, we have a young population who are out doing things differently, but we are encouraging. So what are we doing? We're encouraging our youngsters, look, after school, if you want activities, you want to go and do your homework, we've got a fantastic library, we've got overcrowding is an issue in the borough, go and use those libraries. If you want to go and use the youth clubs, the youth centres, they're state-of-the-art, they're modern. Good example is the Usmani Youth Centre in Venice Road, St Andrews Youth Centre in the Docklands. We've got other youth centres, Spotlight, which Harker runs in partnership with us in Lansbury Ward. Sembles Way, we just opened a youth centre. Come and use those facilities to do your homework, to play, meet, and talk with your peers. You don't have to hang around on the street. We say to them, your future is extremely important. Go and get a good education. Go and get good vocational training. Go and get a good job. Enhance your opportunities. Don't waste your life on doing silly stuff, and getting criminalized. Our youngsters are very astute. They're intelligent. On the whole, they're doing well. I would say that. Education and maintenance allowance is helping youngsters. The university bursaries are helping youngsters. The investment in the youth services are helping youngsters, I would say. And on the whole, having a positive outlook in life, and our schools and our teachers are very good. They're encouraging youngsters to do well in education and opportunities.
একটা stark contrast যেটা আমরা দেখি যে Talha Hamlets is also home of Canary Wharf, Britain's financial capital, probably ওয়ার্ল্ডের টপ 1, 2, 3 এর মধ্যে পড়বে। You are one of the richest, মানে budget wise, one of the biggest authority in the UK. পাশাপাশি আমরা যেটা দেখি যে some of the poorest people also lives in that borough. In some ward, child poverty is almost as high as 90% in some cases. So beyond just doing council হিসেবে যেগুলো করে, এর বাইরে এই হাই ফ্লাইং সাকসেসফুল মেগা কংগ্লোমারেট গ্লোবাল ইনস্টিটিউশনগুলোকে এই লোকাল মানুষের সঙ্গে একটা মিলানোর মধ্যে বা একটা জয়েন্টলি তাদের সফলতার মধ্য দিয়ে লোকজনকে আরো আমাদের ইয়ংস্টারদেরকে ইন্সপায়ার করা, এইরকম কোনো আউট অফ দ্য বক্স কোনো কিছু আপনারা করছেন কিনা বা করার ইচ্ছা আছে কিনা?
Sure. I don't know. We have, the council is doing so much. I cannot take all the credit. We've got fantastic officers in the council. We've got a good education service, good schools, good corporate director for education. We've got my councillors, lead members, and we have a good employment and skills department, and good housing and regeneration department. We got a strong partnership with Canary Wharf and the other businesses in the borough. There is always room for improvement, I will say, Talha. There's always room for improvement. But we have a good relationship. So I'll give you an example, and we have a good vision too. Let me give you an example. Every single development that happens in the borough, where we have to give planning permission, before it goes to the Strategic Development Committee, as the mayor and as a lead member, the councillor, we can give a steer. We can't decide the planning application, that's for the Strategic Committee, but we do have discussions with the officers and the developers. And I always make sure, yes, we want housing, we want family-sized homes, we want social housing, homes for rent. They can go and make the money. However, part of the Section 106 agreement, part of the SIL agreement, Community Infrastructure Levy, we want to have money for infrastructure, education, to build new schools. London Dock School, in the space I secured in the St. George in 2013, when I was the mayor, Hope School, 15 for that school, substantial amount of the money, Mulberry, London, and secure. So we negotiate, secure the substantial money from us, employment, skilling up, apprenticeships, and graduate schemes, and developers. Social value, which you know, was an undertaking. They will employ numbers of so local community in apprentices, not only laying the who's now who support on the sector of Canary Wharf. Can do this. The emerging young educated community. Is my on the associate director is Morgan has agreed the European headquarters Hamlets put in additional 1,000 jobs, and wants to negotiate and they planning. I career prospect for our young.
দর্শক আমরা রেকর্ড নিয়ে আলোচনা আমরা পাচ্ছি তার আরো অন্যান্য বিষয় আমাদের সঙ্গেই দেখুন। সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আপনারা দেখছেন দি কনভারসেশন, সঙ্গে আছি আমি তালহা আহমেদ। আজকে আমরা মেয়র লুৎফুর রহমানের সঙ্গে আলোচনা করছি তার টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটসে এই তৃতীয় মেয়াদের মেয়র হিসেবে তার সফলতা ব্যর্থতা নিয়ে আমরা পর্যালোচনা করছি। বিরতির পূর্বে আমরা আলোচনা করছিলাম যে টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটস একটা প্লেস অফ স্টার্ক কন্ট্রাস্ট। একদিকে আছে আপনার গ্লোবাল financial giants, on the other hand you have some of the deep-rooted communities with deep-rooted poverty. আমরা আরও যে বিষয়গুলো আলোচনা করছি যে ন্যাচারালি যেহেতু টাওয়ার হ্যামলেটসের পপুলেশন ভেরি ইয়ং, এই ইয়ং পপুলেশনদের কে আরও অ্যাম্বিশাস অ্যাসপায়ারিং অ্যাসপারেশনাল করার জন্য তাদেরকে ক্রাইম অ্যান্ড অন্যান্য ইস্যুগুলো থেকে সরে আসা দূরে রাখার জন্য কী কী উদ্যোগ নিচ্ছেন। তো আমরা উইল মুভ অন, বাট ভেরি ব্রিফলি তা আপনার কাছে যদি আবার জানতে যে স্পেসিফিক্যালি একটা পয়েন্ট আমি জানতে চাচ্ছি যে আমাদের কাছে ড্রাগ একটা বড় বড় বলতে আসলে কি ইস্যুগুলো সিরিয়াস, যদিও খুব বেশি মানুষ এটা ইনভলভ বিষয়টা এরকম না। তো ড্রাগ একটা কনসার্ন অনেকের কাছে, বিশেষ করে ইয়ং পিপল গেটিং ইনভলভ ইন ড্রাগ। তো এই ইস্যুটাতে আপনারা কি আপনাদের কোনো স্পেসিফিক উদ্যোগ ছিল কিনা?
আমি এটা টাচ করবো, then I'll touch on one or two other things I think I left out. I'm very grateful for your questions. I mean, drugs is an issue across the country, especially in a very cosmopolitan, high population and diverse and very dense borough or city like London. Amra jeta education certainly is helping, the youth service is certainly helping. 75 additional youth workers that are mentor peers that are help for it. But at the same time, amra kisu targeted work amra korram. Amra saina amra kunu bachcha criminalize ok. Yeah, we are very pleased that the drugs and availability of drugs in Hamlets is coming down. What we inherited in 2022. Crime is also coming down across London and in Talha Ahmad. We have invested a lot of money in fighting crime and the causes of crime, fighting drugs and the distribution of drugs. Good example is আমরা একটা নিজর একটা ফোর্স আমরা ক্রিয়েট করছি, Talha Ahmad এনফোর্সমেন্ট ফোর্স, বুঝছেন? Talha Ahmad এনফোর্সমেন্ট অফিসার্স থিওস আমরা 73 অফিসার্স আমরা নিজে এমপ্লয় করছি to make sure that police to enough now. Although we have bought 24 police officers, we are continuing to fund additional 24 police officers than what the government gives us. The combined with police officers with TIOs, I think is beginning to work. I'm going to invest in CCTV cameras, just under £4.5 million. Some 450 CCTV cameras operate across the borough, 360 degrees. We have a fantastic new control room. I invite you to come along and have a look at it. One of the modern control rooms anywhere in the country. There are housing estates ogula 2.5 million pound. We have invested to have 125 CCTV cameras in our housing estates. So it's a combination of factors. Amra say deterrence hortam plus enforcement at the same time. We want a crime-free borough as much as possible. Jeta apni drugs specifically, amra একটা drug squad create করছি, the only one in the country of 6 TOs and one senior officer, a team leader, 7 officers, enforcement officers, TOs, to fight drugs and the causes of drugs and to work closely with the police officers to make sure we act as a deterrence and as enforcement. Can I just go back to আপনি যেটা কইছেন হলে একটা সাজেশন থাকতে পারে আমি শুধু সার্ভ করলাম one community. At a good example I want to give you, apart from the free home care, apart from the other services, universal services, free school meal, that supports anyone, any child, whether white or black, Muslim, non-Muslim, Bengali, non-Bengali, স্কুলও যায় তারা ফ্রি স্কুল মিল পায়। আর একটা সার্ভিস যেটা আমি মনে করি এটা প্রিডমিনেন্টলি হেল্প করে, it supports white elders, is Meals on Wheels. এটা কিতা আমরা একটা সার্ভিস আসছিল when I was the mayor previously, and it started way before my time. We continued it. It under the previous administration they stopped it. We have started it again. আমরা যারা vulnerable adults or unwell people যারা কোনো সাপোর্ট বেস নাই তারারে আমরা এনশিওর করি কাউন্সিলে একটা হট মিল তারা নিজের বাসাতকে ডেলিভারি করা এবং তারা খাবার নেই every day 7 days a week. Not many other boroughs in the country does that. We do that, and the beneficiary is predominantly white elders. And our population, the Bangladeshi population predominantly is quite young. Because we come from extended family, we got the support network, multi-generational support যেটা আমরা একটা করলাম। তারপরে হইলো যে আপনি ড্রাগ আমরা আরেকটা সার্ভিস করলাম, এটা হলো ড্রাগস রিহ্যাবিলিটেশন সার্ভিস, কালচারালি সেন্সিটিভ যারা একসময় আসেন নাফাস তারা রান করতা ডায়মন্ড সেন্টারও। আমার ম্যানিফেস্টো প্লেজ আসেন দ্যাট ইফ আই come to power again, the culturally sensitive at a drug project করব যেটা hard to reach people, predominantly young people যারা drugs or addict or alcohol addict, এরা আনা সাপোর্ট দেওয়া রিহ্যাবিলিটেট করা এবং তারা মেক শিওর করা কমিউনিটি they lead a good life. We're going to deliver that project very soon. Already the premises up and running. Our launch very soon. That's a predominantly will support every member of our community. Whoever has a problem will get support from that service.
সময় কমে যাচ্ছে তো একটা বড় চ্যালেঞ্জ আমাদের মানে শুধু আমাদের কমিউনিটি প্রত্যেকটা বারাতে বা লন্ডন ইংল্যান্ডের প্রায় প্রতিটি অঞ্চলেই মেজর সিটিগুলো একটা বড় চ্যালেঞ্জ হচ্ছে হাউজিং। আপনার কমিটমেন্ট ছিল যে আপনি 4000 সোশ্যাল হাউজিং ক্রিয়েট করবেন, কতদূর আগাইছে সেটা?
জি আমরা very fortunate. We are the third largest economy in the country. Our economy is bigger than Manchester and Birmingham's. We have one of the most active planning application authority in the country. Our planning application is unbelievable. What I said in my manifesto, যেটা আমার ওয়াদা আছে যে আমরা এই 60 বছরে আমরা প্রায় 40,000 homes for rent আমরা ডেলিভারি করব, affordable social homes. Alhamdulillah, we are very much on track in delivering that by May this year. Not only that, we are going beyond that, and I have been assured by officers that we will deliver some 6,000 homes by May of this year. Homes for rent. But এটা সব কিছু আবার কাউন্সিলর গড়বাড়ি নাই তালা ভাই, এগুলা কিন্তু আপনার is a partnership. এখানে কাউন্সিলর গড়বাড়ি in partnership with also the council, the housing associations and developer. Any developer that comes our way, puts in an application, they have to give us around 35% homes for rent. Any RSL who build on former public land, which was our land, they have to give us 50%. And we also have 100% council homes. So 4,000 homes on track to deliver by May. Beyond that is 6,000 homes. And arekta initiative done nisi amra cabinet last year. We have identified 43 council sites, big sites. The commercial road sign, the depot site, old Renault building, front of Troxy, just before Troxy. আমরা যে ডেপো যেটা ব্ল্যাকপোল এইরকম আমরা সাইট যখন আমরা আইডেন্টিফাই করছি 43 sites যেখানে ইনশাল্লাহ we are already proceeding to planning very soon. We've got one of the top company in the country who are helping working with us, 7 or 8 top architects. We're taking the sites to planning, and those sites will deliver some 3,300 additional homes. So we're buying homes, we're building homes, and we're building in partnership with RSLs and developers.
একটা ইস্যু যেটা বারবার আসে টা হামলেসের ক্ষেত্রে যে you are doing something what they call high volume high density homes. টা হামলেস is already one of the highest density area. মানে পাশাপাশি দেখা যায় this is a waiting list in terms of your waiting list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger despite delivering more homes. আপনার waiting list is not going down. So দুটো প্রশ্ন এখানে really interconnected. একটা হচ্ছে যে how far can you really deliver, how long can you deliver this high density developments, এবং আপনার এই waiting list কমছে না কেন? Why is the waiting list getting bigger and bigger and bigger?
Sure. Waiting list it will continue to get bigger because the law doesn't prevent anyone joining the waiting list. Give you an example. You could have got a free bedroom property within 2 or 3 years. Alhamdulillah, you've been blessed by another child. Yeah, so you need another extra room, 4-bedroom. So you have the right to get onto the waiting list. But you don't need a 4-bedroom now, you need it 5-6 years' time. So the waiting list, it increases. Anyone can join the waiting list. But the list, we are very concerned. We care about most. We care about everyone. We care about most is the number of families who are living in severely overcrowded household. That's band 2A. That is around 8,000 households. Those are the people that we need to help now. That they need a bigger house now. We can't, as a council, we can't build 8,000 homes within 1 year or within
or
partnership.
Even within 4 years.
It's impossible. But in 4 years, if we deliver 4,000 homes, those 8,000 has reduced. But then others, it's a vicious cycle. Then others will become overcrowded. They will join the band 2A overcrowded band. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's a continuous endeavor. No council in the country can get rid of overcrowding entirely because large families will come along always and join the housing list and become overcrowded. But as the council, as the leader of the council, as the mayor, we have to be conscious of the fact, and we have to continuously make sure we are providing enough large properties to contain the pressure and reduce the pressure. And talking about borough, yes, our borough is a small borough. We can't go out, we can't build out, but we can build up. We can build high buildings, and this is what we're doing. Our borough can take, even now, they can take another 50,000 homes over the next 10, 15 years. And it's possible. And 50,000 homes, of which minimum 35–40% will be homes for rent. That will begin to reduce the overcrowding. And good news is, I want to give you, a waiting time for large homes is coming down. The more homes we build, the more homes the council builds. We can't do this on our own. It's a partnership between us and the council too, and the government too. Government also needs to help us make more grants available, make more lands available, and make the planning process more easier.
Right.
Easier.
And
so more homes we build, more large family-sized homes we build, the waiting list goes down.
Right. One of the, it's fair to say যে একটা বড় কনসার্ন যেটা হলো বিভিন্ন সময় রেজ করেছে যে whether you are doing the culture governance within the local authority এবং government has appointed commissioners to oversee.
They're not commissioners, envoys
to oversee certain aspect of running your governance. From what I could see, I think পুরা লন্ডনে আর কোনো অথরিটিতে এটা নাই। কেন আপনার অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশনের গভর্নেন্সের ব্যাপারে সরকার এতটা কনসার্ন কেন?
জয়, thank you for প্রথম হইল we got envoys in. You're absolutely right, and I welcome. যেটা in 2000 last year when I said when they took an interest in IFS that I welcome external scrutiny. External scrutiny, দরকার আছে, is helpful and is supportive. Okay, any support that we as a council we get from others, whether it be our district auditors, or it be the government, or anyone else, or LGA, Local Government Association, I have no problem with that. But they need to be fair, they need to be constructive, they need to be supportive. Okay, they haven't taken away any of our power. We came in May 2022. Let's give you an example of what we inherited. We inherited from the previous administration 6 years of unsigned accounts. 6 years. They were only in power 7 years. The previous administration didn't deliver signed accounts for 6 years. 5 years, they didn't deliver annual governance statement. So every year, the council has to deliver a signed annual governance statement saying all our governance issues are pakka. They didn't do that. They didn't deliver, they didn't pay £1 million of VAT. When I came in, we had to sort, it took me 1.5 years, 2 years nearly, at a cost of £4 million extra to the council, to the taxpayers, to sort out the previous administration's 6 years of unassigned accounts, annual government statements, 5 years, and non-payment of VAT. As an example of what we inherited.
But are you saying these envoys are appointed because of those failures?
They were appointed because of weaknesses in governance. And what I'm saying to you is that I inherited quite substantial weaknesses in governance. I am sorting that out, strengthening the governance, and getting us to a better position.
You see, the allegation is that you have created a toxic culture in which you have one council for those who support you and a different council or a less tolerant council for those who doesn't support you.
Sure. Well, in 2024, Local Government Association came in and they did what is called, as a lawyer or as a professional, they did a peer review on us. Peer review. They were independent people. They came in and they found certain weaknesses in the council, and they said amongst the politicians, not me, amongst the politicians, the various parties, primarily two parties in town.
Aspire and Labour.
Yeah. So amongst the politician elected members, there was a toxic culture, i.e. in full council, they have a go at each other, they talk against each other, etc., etc. And I accept that. There is a unfriendly, bit of a impersonal relationship between the politicians, which could improve. And we're dealing with that. It's not just Aspire. They also had a go at the other party councillors.
Basically, the allegation is that it's not just among the councillors. Allegation is that what you do, you have an inner core of your own advisors, and you listen to them and you sideline senior officers of the local authority of the council.
They came back again. So they did their review in 2024. They came back again last year, end of last year. They said that us as an administration and the senior officers, we get on with each other. It's not toxic culture. It was a two-council culture, they said. So two-council culture.
So yes, correct.
Yeah, two-council culture. They've said that no longer exists. So the senior management team, the senior officers of the council, the corporate directors and the directors, me and my executive and the chief executive, we get on with each other, and there's a trust between us now and other officers. Can I just say this to you, my brother? It's this. There are 6 mayors in London. There are 13, 14 mayors across the country. Every mayor, because the mayor has executive power, every mayor has a set of advisors to assist, help, and support the council. There's nothing wrong with that.
But you have to. Anyway, let's move on. We've got one of the concern. আপনি অনেকগুলো বলছেন যে ইনিশিয়েটিভ নিয়েছেন, কিন্তু many of these initiatives অন্যান্য local authority cut down. Hamlets also cut down before. এবং allegation যেটা হলো যে আপনি এই কাজগুলো করতে পারছেন because you have depleted the reserve that Hamlets has. In fact, I think one report suggested that you may have depleted it as low as 17 or 27 million from 80 something million. এইটা কতটুকু সত্য বা
এটা মোটেও সত্য না. This is misinformation, it is propaganda, and it is electioneering. Our reserve is one of the healthiest reserves of any local authority. We have some 450 million pound in reserves. What we have done, we've used the money constructively, we used the money wisely, and we have reprovisioned the money. Yes, in my first year, in my first budget, I took some money to immediately, from reserve, to immediately deliver some initiatives. Why is the reserve there? Reserve the ekhane ase is there to support the people of this borough, to support the kids of the borough, the elders of this borough, the most needy of this borough. Apni benko apnar tekha thaklo and your kid is dying of hunger. Bank account thaklo, your kid cannot have have a decent meal in school. Why you have that money in the bank? Bank to money o karone bhai to use it for you and for your family.
আমরা দুঃসময় ইউজ করার জন্যই তো রিজার্ভ।
Absolutely. তো আমরা একটা small amount of money, আমরা পয়লা budget in February 2023, we used it for free school meals, we used it for other initiatives, yeah. And alhamdulillah, even despite using that money, we have now a reserve of 450 million pounds. And let me give another example. In budget this year, which is going to full council, on the 25th of February, went to cabinet last week, we are putting in additional 50 million pound back into the reserve. Yeah.
So you're adding to the reserve.
We are adding 50 million pound additional money into reserve. So whilst we're delivering a expanded service, additional some 55-60 million pound each year to the community, whether in crime, in housing, in education, in cleaning, into the community, we're also putting back money into the reserve too, in case there's a rainy day, in case there's a difficulty, so we can call on the reserve.
So one of the things that I'm sure our audience also probably finds striking, many of the things you are doing, government is following your example. I'm not saying your example necessarily. Free school meals for everyone in primary school. Sadiq Khan introduced it, I think, after
we did it. And not for everyone. He introduced it for certain people.
No, I think in primary school, they eventually introduced for everybody, universal free school meal. For a year, I don't know if they've extended it now. Two-child limit, Labour government, despite coming to power, did not immediately act on it. Although it's not in your power, but আপনাদের measure ছিল যাতে করে এদেরকে help করা যায়. Housing, I mean, from at least on statistics, you seem to have delivered. So you are doing all the same with school uniform support. There are Labour and cross-party MPs who are campaigning for government to bring in support mechanism. So when you are delivering all these things, you are leading a progressive agenda that should be celebrated by many of these political establishments. Why is it that you are almost cast as a pariah, somebody to stay away from rather than follow as a role model?
Alhamdulillah, I think a lot of people like me. A lot of people like my administration.
I'm talking about the media and the public discourse.
Because now media, we get good coverage. So last week, for example, ITV came and Guardian came to our launch of our sister space. It's a woman-only youth centre. At Agar Shapta, we had BBC promoting our Meals on Wheels service. I think there is some animosity, some fight back because I'm independent. I don't belong to some of the big parties. I'm independent. But who matter to me are the people of this borough, 340,000 people. They're the most important people for me and my administration. I'm elected to serve them. And we've delivered what we promised in our manifesto, and we've gone beyond that. Yes, I am proud that we have delivered, we're delivering some of the most progressive policies somewhere and everywhere in the country. And I'm proud that other authorities or the central government, to some extent, are taking some ideas from us. At the same time, I am willing to learn from others. If some other local authority or central government has good policies that we can put into action in Hamlets, I want to learn from them. We're a learning council too.
Thank you.
সুপ্রিয়
দর্শক, আপনারা দেখছেন দি কনভারসেশন। আজকে আমরা মেয়র লুৎফুর রহমানের সঙ্গে আলোচনা করছিলাম তার নিয়ারলি 4 বছরের ট্র্যাক রেকর্ড নিয়ে। আমরা অনেকগুলো বিষয়ে আলোচনা করেছি, হাউজিং, হেলথ, পভার্টি, ইনইকুয়ালিটি, ক্রাইম। তো অনেক বিষয় নিয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছে। সময় থাকলে হয়তো আমরা আরও আলোচনা করতে পারতাম। আপনারা অনেক সময় আমাদের এই অনুষ্ঠানে সরাসরি আপনাদের মন্তব্য প্রশ্ন করতে চান, কিন্তু আজকে আমাদের পক্ষে সেটি নেওয়া সম্ভব হয়নি অনেকগুলো ইস্যু থাকার কারণে। কিন্তু ইনশাল্লাহ আমরা অন্য কোনো এক সময় আপনাদের মতামত, আপনাদের ভিউগুলোকে নিব। আমাদের সঙ্গে আপনারা যারা এতক্ষণ ধৈর্য ধরে অনুষ্ঠান দেখছেন, আপনাদের সকলকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে, মেয়র লুৎফুর রহমান আপনাকে আপনার সময়ের জন্য অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে আগামী সপ্তাহে আবারও আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান দেখার আমন্ত্রণ জানিয়ে আজকের মতো এখানেই বিদায় নিচ্ছি। আল্লাহ হাফিজ।
থ্যাংক ইউ। আসসালামু আলাইকুম রহমতুল্লাহি বারাকাতুহু।